What's that?
Wait a second.
Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 213.
213.
That's Bethany. I'm Sparky. If you guys have any questions too, we have a few that were sent in, but please feel free to throw them in the chat. If we're ever responding to your question and you have a follow-up to it, throw it in there as well. We like the back and forth. It feels more real that way.
Yep.
All right. Let's start with Emmy Van Bokel.
Open
now
up
that
your...
is a character. All right. My 6-month-old puppy won't eat from her bowl, but we hand her her kibble one by one. She does eat. What do I do? Ouch. Hi, Pippa.
Oh, did I startle you? Sorry, Pippa.
Still a little surprised by it. Wanted from her bowl. Man, Bethany, what would you do on this one? I'm going to sound mean, what I'm going to say.
So it depends. So six months is kind of on the older side. And so if there's no weight issues with the dog, and I have to say that because I have come across some teacup poodles and toy poodles. Man, they're always poodles.
That's always poodle. Always.
And there's a few other, like sometimes Yorkies. Occasionally, you might have, Italian Greyhound, there's another one. You might have an actual weight issue. And they could be really finicky, and you do have to be careful of that. Most of the time, though, you are spoiling that dog rotten, and of course, they're not going to eat unless they get the preferential treatment. So you just put the bowl down in front of them, and you walk away. No pressure, no nothing. I would do crate or playpen. That way, they can't just like follow you when you walk away and go about your business. They've got the food. Set a timer for 10 minutes. When that 10 minutes is up, go remove the food. Halfway through the day, their midday meal. Your 6-month-old is probably still on a midday meal. Put the food back down. New fresh food. 10 minutes. Set your timer. By the following morning, 24 hours, that dog will start eating food out of the bowl. Now, here's the thing, though. I gotta say this, though, too. We like feeding dogs from our hand to teach them that they, do stuff for their food. I'm not saying you gotta make a dog work 24/7 all the time for their food. That's not what I'm saying. But a good portion of the time, that is the type of relationship we want to build with puppies. So if that's what you're doing, that's fine. Keep it up. But just to get over the hump of, my dog can also eat from the bowl. 6 months old shouldn't need water in the bowl, although it's good for digestion. And yeah, I would balance it out. So I would be like, okay, 2 days, I'm not going to feed while I'm training anymore. I'm definitely not sitting on the ground. Like the only way I would do the hand feeding is through training. And it could be super easy. Just come, handful of food. Come, handful of food. But yeah, put it in the bowl. Do that. They can go up to 3 days without eating. They're animals. We should be fasting too. Something to take note of. And it's super common. The other thing I would just kind of keep an eye on when it comes to just the bowl in general is just not to stress about it, because emotions can really have a really big effect on the dog and how they feel about the bowl. And so that's why I said, truly just walk away. Don't look at the dog. Don't do anything. It's like when my toddler's trying a new food, I might have put a bit too much pressure on her when she was younger to like, please eat. And so now it's like, if I give her a new food, I'm like over here and I'm like, I'm not watching. I'm just eating my food. I'm not watching at all. And it's like, you gotta do that, because if I'm watching her, she will literally throw it down. She won't even try it. But if I'm not watching her, I just walk away, or I eat my own food and don't make eye contact, she eats it right up. We can accidentally do the same thing to dogs. The only other thing I can think of is metal bowl. Some dogs don't like to eat out of a metal bowl.
Collar if it's hitting it.
Because the collar hits it, so maybe switch that up too. Anything else you can add?
I'd be curious to see what kind of drive you build when you are hand feeding. Is your dog excited to take it? You said you're feeding one kibble at a time, which makes me feel like it's probably low energy. But if it is higher energy, sometimes I use that for, we always use it for training, but you can even build drive associated with food. Even if I'm going to feed, or even if I am going to hand feed, like what she said for training, I know you said the first part, which is just do 3 days in the crate and feed her that. Once you've gotten her past that, we do like to hand feed meals for at least a percentage of it. I would do about 60-70% hand fed, so you can still build drive. You create that association with you. This is after the 3 days of what she said, so you just get her over the hump. And then you put the remaining in the bowl, and you've built drive around the food, and then the remainder in the bowl, so she still feels satisfied like she got her meal. So that's usually what I do when I do training.
I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole since we don't have any questions that have come in yet. I'm pretty strict on the food bowl thing. Like it always works, as long as the dog's not underweight. But I did recently have a dog in that had to go to the vet while in my care, Dewclaw. And the dog gets easily stressed. And they had even told me that they had done a board and train when the dog was a puppy and not with me. And it was out like in the middle of nowhere on a farm. Like they didn't even live in California at the time. And the dog got sick, like ate something, got really ill, has always associated going places with how they felt at that board and train. So won't eat when they travel now. And so they have to hand feed.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's not going to happen to me. I was off leash training this dog. The dog was like three at this point, 2, 3. And doing well, didn't eat for the first day, started to eat fine. I was like, I'm right. And then went to the vet. And I mean, would not eat. And we went 3 days, and this dog was like perfect fit weight. Not all you pet fit weight out there, which is got extra layers. I mean, like physically fit.
You're still able to feel the bottom rib.
Yes, bottom 2 ribs. Bottom 2 ribs and muscular. I mean, they just do a beautiful job with this dog, really high quality foods. And yeah, it went 2 days without eating. And I was like, this dog is going to lose weight. So on the 3rd day, ate a little. 4th day, ate a little, and it was not picking up. And my little 2-year-old, this dog is crazy friendly. My little 2-year-old for 2 days in a row, hand fed for a giant breed. This is a giant breed. Hand fed an entire bowl to this dog.
That's probably the highlight of her morning.
And he had to be on cone, and it added an extra layer of stress, plus the whole travel thing, on top of it. And I gave in. I totally gave in. But as we were able to take the cone off and build the dog back up, by the end of I'm sorry, Peppa, I gotta pet you at the same time. By the end of the board and train, the dog was able to eat out of the bowl again. So I tried to transition him away from that as soon as possible, as soon as we built confidence back up and he wasn't on cone anymore.
Can we backtrack a second?
So there are exceptions.
She said she gave up because you hit day
3.
Yeah, and then if you get to 4 or 5, like you can't go past the day 3.
Yeah.
You can't go past 3 days and
Well,
then eating minimally.
Yes, that's what it was.
Unless they're significantly overweight and they actually have a lot of weight to lose. That's totally different.
Totally different.
I wanted to highlight on that because it's not that we gave up on the dog. She actually redid it later on, but she gave up on that moment because she didn't think the dog could mentally work through it.
Yep.
So she softened her training and then came back to it later.
Yeah, exactly.
We still do that as dog trainers.
So it's not like a one size fits all approach, but what the advice that we do give here, we try to help with the amount of time that we have. But it's always going to be different for every dog. Now you do have something. Why don't you check out TikTok?
It was about a vaccination. It is. Is it necessary to vaccinate a 6-pound toy poodle for rabies every year? I think it's 3-year boosters. I think that's how it works.
It depends. They have 1 year and they have 3 years.
Do they? Okay. I've always done the 3-year boosters, but I had a 100-pound dog, so I think for a Yorkie they might do a 1-year booster. So yeah, I would recommend that. I'd recommend doing vaccinations personally if you live in an area with lots of dogs and there's a high likelihood of your dog seeing other dogs, or you live in an area with lots of critters.
Yeah, most rabies comes from other animals. Yeah.
It's in the fleas that the critters carry usually.
And I would just add on to that, after your dog is a full-fledged adult, if you are financially able, I would suggest that you do titers testing. Rather than just do the regular vaccination schedule. So.
Yeah, sometimes the dog still has a good percentage of it in their system. They don't need it yet.
Yeah. I've had almost all of my elderly dogs haven't needed anything for years. So, and then I had one dog that did. So every dog, our immune systems are all different, the way that it affects us. So just something to keep in mind.
It's interesting. Have people not realized that rabies is kind of on the rise? Well, in California, it's been 50 years since we had the last case of rabies. So I'd be curious to see what state you guys live in. And yeah, everyone in that state should check that out.
If I lived somewhere with like bats, and because from my understanding, it's high with bats. It's one of the highest
carriers.
Yeah. If I lived in an area that was like high in bats or things like that, I would do something different. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I would Guys, the United States is
Oklahoma.
humongous. And then I don't even know where that could be from Canada. That could be from somewhere else. The culture, the temperature, there are so many things that are so different in different areas. Just like on the CDC website, you can see what's going on in your area for our stuff.
Yep.
Or at least
Instagram, it's Oklahoma that you're having increased cases of rabies. So if you live in Oklahoma, check it out.
Where the wind goes. Okay, sorry.
I love this song. I love this song.
All right, Pippa, you are so cute. You just want to cuddle all day? Is that how it is?
Pippa is our cuddle master supreme.
Oh my goodness.
She spent about 4.5 minutes just licking my wrist, waiting for me to pet her.
She's so sweet.
You noticed that when I gave up she gave up licking my wrist because she never got the pets from me. So she moved to the weak one of the two of us.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. She is adorable.
Pippa is probably one of her favorites. She's our cuddle bug.
All right. J Sats says, 8-month-old Golden, why would she nibble with her little front teeth on me, furniture? Is it attitude? I'm guessing is what?
I thought maybe attention seeking.
Attention seeking. I thought it was attitude. 8-month-old. Yes, they should,
Yeah, it's older.
They're not doing it because they're teething. And so you definitely don't have to feel bad about being like, no, there's no redirection here. It's just no.
It's a hard no.
But some dogs definitely have a much higher level of like oral fixation or wanting to chew and things like that than other breeds, dogs, personalities. So you just have one that might be on the higher side. For me, I just like to balance it out. I'm like, okay, is my dog physically and mentally fulfilled? Then I have no problems, like for the licking, being like, no. Pippa's so sensitive, I just had to do like a little bump. Like she's so, she's just easy. Your dog, you're probably gonna need to put on a leash and have him drag around a leash when you're supervising your dog. Don't have the leash on when you're not. And as soon as they come up to the furniture or they nibble your hand, make your hand stiff. No. Good. Make your hand, it's just kind of like that. Like it's really calm. It's really chill.
The petting stopped.
Yeah, and I froze. Yeah.
She stopped adding stimulation to let her work through the current stimulation she had.
So if they're coming up nibbling my hand, I'm just going to freeze and I'm just going to go no. And I won't bump an 8-month-old dog with my arm. Not usually anyway. I'd use my leg, but I'm not going to pull my hand away, like unless it really physically hurts. And then you've waited too long anyway. I'm going to freeze and I'm going to actually make sure the dog can't physically move my arm by nudging it. And I'm going to use my leg and be like, no. Then the dog's probably going to do zoomies around the room and come back and bark at me because I've never done that before. That's new to them. I'm going to pick up the leash, knock it off, do a little bit of pressure, redirect back to their dog bed, and then ignore them for a while and just hold the leash and ignore them for a while, see if they can settle down. If they can't, then I've got a real relationship issue, a real boundary issue, and I need to be waiting at all thresholds, waiting at crate door, sit at every corner before we cross the street, sit while watching, things go by. Just more impulse control work, sitting and waiting for the food bowl, a really strong drop it or out with fetch, so it's like you work on impulse when you're having behavioral issues like this and they can't just listen to a no and then go and settle down. If the dog is really coming back at you with more energy, more emotion, more pushback, that's a relationship issue. And you actually need to work on impulse control in other areas of the dog's life. Do you have anything to add to that? 8-month-old?
No. Nope. I think if you have an 8-month-old who's pushing back harder with barking and all that, I think you should get a private trainer, even just a single session. That feels like more of an issue that most owners are really going to struggle with countering.
Yeah.
My personal opinion.
Yep. I'm stealing this. I taught the mast, Millie says. Yeah, I taught not to jump in a similar way. If my dog jumped up, I stepped away, said no, and just stood. Yeah, I wouldn't do the step away. Sometimes that can be... It
can build motivation. So
yeah,
it's,
it can be perceived as permissive.
We step back. It's like invitational.
Yeah.
Most dogs will actually do another jump. I mean, maybe your dog was very neutral, more balanced, so it didn't, but
Yeah.
most dogs would jump.
She said she did then she would step away and then stand still, like, and just stood. So she did have part of it.
I've heard the method. It's very, very, very positive reinforcement only driven. Like, it's what a lot of those trainers will do.
Yeah.
Because they avoid conflict.
But they learned that they weren't going to get what they wanted that way. If they were good, then they got a reward. You know, for a really, really young puppy, and I'm talking 12 weeks and younger, this is a great shaping tool. Like what you just kind of outlined, it's a really great shaping tool. In our experience, and maybe that's just because we work with the harder dogs.
We get the dogs who call us because they're having issues.
Because that doesn't work. It's kind of what what I'm trying to say is it's just not enough. And then to be honest, like I just worked with a doodle family. They decided to get rid of their doodle. They kind of came to me too late. They did seek out, well, that's not their fault. They did seek out other training, but it just did not work because it was too soft. The dog was already just biting the crap out of the kids, grabbing, not viciously, grabbing clothes.
He was just trying to demand their attention.
Every time they would turn away, and then he was scratching up their backs. Like the mom showed me like the 12-year-old's back, a photo of it. And then I was like, well, we're not gonna have the kids do it, but let me see it with you. Let me see what you guys have been doing. And so we had her walk out of the room. That's all we had to do, walk out of the room and come back in. Dog targeted her. She turned, goosed her hard, started barking at her. And this is just a medium-sized doodle, a really strong medium-sized doodle.
Really happy, excited doodle.
And that's what we get. You know, we get a lot of the dogs that just are
even a lesser version of that. Like that's one of the extremes. Even half of that technique wouldn't work.
Yeah, it would have under 12 weeks old.
Yes.
If they had done that when the puppy was in that
shaping
young
phase.
zone, yeah.
The shaping phase.
Unless it was a border collie or a Malinois, if
And
they
they
had
shape
done
us.
that, or a cattle dog, there is a list, a Kelpie, like
Healer.
won't work with those, but. For a lot of the breeds, that works really beautifully as the beginning shaping tool, and then you have less corrections in the future. I'm with you on that for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go into Instagram. In my room with my bed. Oh man, I gotta click on this later and see what that is. Okay,
She has healers and border collies.
Healers and border
A
collies.
beagle and a tiny mutt.
What can I do for a 1-year-old pup who doesn't, oh, this is up your alley, who doesn't stop peeing everywhere? 1-year-old that doesn't stop peeing everywhere. Seems more like marking as he does go on the pee pad as well.
Well, let me say this. If it is marking, it's a squirt. It's not a 2, 3, 4 second pee. I don't see many dogs that do a longer mark. So this is probably what you're getting. You're getting a dog who's kind of coming into adolescence. He's been in it for about 3 or 4 months already. So he's developed the type of dog he wants to become, and now you're kind of seeing the result of that. So what am I doing if I walk into a house with a situation like this? One, I'm going back to some pretty strict crate training. If I'm just being honest, I see that as a pretty big problem that might even turn into reactivity later on if the dog thinks he can push a lot of boundaries. So I'm going back to really strict crate schedule. You can check our blog. We have a video that you can kind of check out and like build one from it. And anytime that dog comes out, they're on leash and I have something planned for them. They go out for a potty right when they come out. They can't blast out of the crate full speed. They got to come out pretty soft, pretty slow. I'm even looking kind of for like a sit when they come out and get some eye contact. They're sitting at all the thresholds leading outside. So you're basically taking that forward momentum and you're turning it into follower mode. Every single doorway, you want follower mode. You want them looking towards you, taking their commands from you. When you get them outside for their potty, you give them 2 to 3 minutes. I'm being pretty hardcore because this is kind of a hardcore older dog doing a lot of peeing in the house. So I'm gonna go outside for 2 to 3 minutes. My dog is on leash. He's been on leash from the second he came out of that crate. I give him 2 to 3 minutes in an area that he likes to use. If I get a baby squirt, it's not even a real pee, it's like just that little marker, like my phrase, baby squirt? Little baby squirt. Little tiny squirt. I'm gonna take him back inside, put him back in that crate for about 15 to 30 minutes. A year-old dog, probably about 30 minutes. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up the need to pee. Thank you. The urgency to pee. Because when I take my dog out once, he just kind of wants to pee, but it's just a little squirt. By that 30 minutes and I take him back out, most dogs are going to give you a full release of the bladder because now you've created urgency. If you still don't have urgency, back to the crate for another 30 minutes. You got to kind of see what does your dog require in order to create urgency? It might be 4 hours of crate time for the first 3 or 4 days, a 4-hour window, potty, and then a little bit of free time. I've removed all water bowls from the floor. There is nothing on the ground
free
from the
water.
drink from. Yeah, it's all earned. It's all a privilege. At the end of that free time window, it's been about 2 hours. That's when I'm going to put the bowl down. And if you want to be really, really strict, you can even measure water. It's a half cup of water for every 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. I got more. I'm just taking a breath. That window of free time, that also has to be pretty structured. I'm going to let you structure that one because my tongue is getting tired. But you actually want to structure free time into physical exertion, mental stimulation, and some form of existence.
Yeah, during that break time window.
Yeah, what did I call it?
Free time.
Sorry,
Remember,
that's our
we're
old
trying
system.
to say break time instead.
I like free time still. Break time. Break time. Sorry.
You want to finish?
No, you're scaring me now. Go.
So during your windows, I would just have more intention with them. You don't have to go crazy if you like, your
You have
dog's
an older dog.
You don't have to go crazy if you like your dog's behavior. But let's just add a little bit more structure to it. It's like, okay, this is playtime. This is work time, which involves training and walks and all of that. And here's your break time. In your break time, I highly suggest that you tether, the dog to you, have it on you, like where you can see on a leash. I would do a 6 to 10 foot leash, depending on what your home looks like. And then, do the crate rotation or the playpen rotation. If you haven't crated your dog, because I haven't seen any feedback, just a thank you, you're welcome. If you haven't crated your dog and you're just doing playpen, you need more puppy pads. So I would put more puppy pads in the playpen, and then there's no puppy pads outside of the playpen. You're taking the dog out to pee much more often, short periods of time, that window, like he said. You're really just going back to basics. If you think he's marking in the house, if you can catch him, leg up, you can give him a little tug of the leash. Nope, let's go outside. He probably won't go. Come back inside, put in the crate or playpen, for a few minutes, and then put him back out, on that lead where you're right there. And so that's really the critical part. You are having to completely reshape how your dog looks at pottying in the house. And I'm just looking at your feedback. Haven't crated yet, looking to crate them. It can be tough to just start crating a 1-year-old. Maybe he'll take to it great and think it's a little den and go right in, and just be fine with it, and maybe not. So that might be, I would definitely try it, but you might come up with some new issues with that. So if not, and you do the playpen, add more puppy pads to it, but then when the dog is out of the playpen and it's during their break time is now tethered to you, because you can't have them wandering off and peeing and keeping up with that habit. I would set your mind to like a hardcore 2 weeks where you're going to be insanely strict, dedicated, consistent, and see how far that gets you, and maybe slowly wean off of that. So that would be my go-to for that.
Puppy question just came about to talk.
Puppy.
And Zooey, yes, we are taking general questions, but we're about to wrap up.
Just came on. I'm struggling on getting my 8-week-old Goldendoodle puppy to settle in his crate. That is a great puppy question. I'm curious to know.
8 weeks old, baby.
Yeah, that is a baby. So, what do your free times look like? And I know your dog's not old enough to do like a full-blown training session, but you can get on the ground with your puppy and you can just start doing really easy stuff like luring them across the floor and following food. Doesn't take very much to get them tired, but I think it's probably, this is usually what happens, how much affection are we given? Are we doing a lot of cuddle time with our 8-week-old puppy? Are they spending most of their time in their like little playpen on their bed? Am I getting on the ground with them, or are they spending most of their time in my arms? If I give a lot of affection before putting a dog in the crate, I'm emotionally charging them, and that charge is going to come out. It's going to get used some way. Usually it's whining, fussing, barking, just kind of carrying on. They have a lack of ability to settle if we charge them with anything. If we charge them with happiness by just playing with them before going in, we give them a lot of affection. Sometimes even training right before kind of amps them up and gets them excited for food.
Yeah.
So we follow the window. It's similar to what we just said for the last one. It's a little bit of play, a little bit of training, a a little bit of existence with us before crate, and when the dog starts being able to slow down and settle down a little bit, it's a pretty easy transition to crate.
Now,
So
I like to do a final potty for an 8-week-old.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
before
idea.
going in. And so you've got your trainer hat on, your business hat on. You're not the owner of this cute little puppy. If that's how you are all the time, it's never going to get any better. You've got to have like your trainer hat on. Matter of fact, take your dog out to pee. There's no emotion. There's no, yay, good pee. No. I mean, if you want to do reward for pee, it's good job, good go potty. Here, back inside, stop at thresholds. Every 8-week-old, unless there's nervous issues, that's the exception, but every 8-week-old that I would work with, they don't need to know sit down, stay calm. That's obedience, but they will already be waiting at thresholds and waiting at the crate door for permission to come back out. Okay, so I just want to encourage you to kind of look into that and go ahead and start that impulse control, because that's going to help you too. Okay, what?
It's the follow-up.
Oh, we've had him for 4 days. We played a ton. I'm very hands-on. I don't do so much cuddling. Okay. Good. So that's, I mean, I don't know how good it is. It depends on the dog. Like cuddling should be limited, and it should really depend on the dog's temperament.
It should be earned.
It should be, in the beginning, it should be earned. And then as they get older, it doesn't have to be.
Then they get free cuddles.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be earned all the time. I'm a little nervous about your playing all the time. And the reason why is because, yes, dogs learn the best through play. I would agree with that. And food can be kind of a form of play in a way, payment-wise for obedience. But if you're just playing like a lot and you're not doing impulse control, threshold work, place work, come, food, sit, like if you're not shaping behaviors and you're doing more play than shaping the behaviors and expectations in the home, you can accidentally create a maniac. Because think about what play is. Play, if you're playing tug or fetch, play is nurturing predatory drive. And so when you do that over and over and over again, you're keeping the dog in an overstimulated state, and you can accidentally, it's just adrenaline.
You're promoting it.
And you're becoming a part of it, so you're becoming attached to that higher drive emotion, and it can just be really problematic for the dog. The dog will learn to live in an overexcited, overstimulated state if they're not. It's kind of like social media, like scroll. And if you sit down for 10 minutes and you're not allowed to scroll, for some people, I'm not saying this is me, for some people that's hard to do, to just sit for 10 minutes quietly because of social media. Well, play is like having a screen in front of them all the time. Like they have to be constantly entertained, and they're not also being worked with on being calm, focused. And so you just got to really be careful with the amount of play that you do and how you're playing. So. Go ahead.
I was waiting for you to say it, Bethany.
I know, I didn't
We
even.
also have an online school, so if you're really struggling with your 8-week-old puppy, we'd love to have you join us over there. We basically do a live every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, where you get a full hour. It's like doing this, but it's significantly fewer people, and you guys have a whole hour to talk to us. We have a huge library of videos, a lot of troubleshooting videos. Yeah. It's a pretty darn complete program. Your dog is the perfect age for it.
Did you have to shape your puppy's behavior?
I can't go that far. Nope, I shameless plugged already. I can't go that far. But we have a ton of really, really great videos to help you with what you're struggling with right now.
Cassandra said that, he does good sitting in the crate. As soon as I close the crate, he loses it. This, to me, is a little bit genetic, but I want you to think about it from his perspective. If every time he's out, he's getting tons of attention and play, why would he ever go into the crate and settle? If you're getting this,
why would he want to go in the crate and settle?
Of course he's going to protest. And then depending on his temperament and drive intensity will depend on how much he protests rather than gives up and then goes to sleep, right? Yep. So for me, I think it's a combo of temperament and too much attention, too much arousal happening outside of crate. So it's just something I would just keep in mind.
Also, a schedule helps a lot. So you're not waiting for the bark to let him out for the potty. You have an hour timed. And then you go to the hour, he started barking at the 50-minute mark, you go to bring him out, he's pottied his crate, you're like, shoot, okay, he can't do
45 minutes.
Or maybe I gave a little too much water. So either I'll cut back on some water if I'm not already giving the minimal, or I'll cut back to 45 minutes. and then eventually grow it from there. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
troubleshooting, but we do recommend getting them on a schedule and like following a chart. You can build a little chart for yourself.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you. I know there's a couple other questions on TikTok. Same time, same place next week, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. Bye.
All right, guys. And can you believe it? Pippa lasted the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time. You're like 1 in 5 who've lasted the whole time.